We are here tonight. We're a few minutes early. We're just a few minutes early. Let me put this here. And talk to me. Make sure the sound is good. Let me see here. That should. All right. Um, we are trying something different tonight. I'm using a new app, Restream, and we're gonna see how it goes. My computer, my computer went out, and so I'm kind of monitoring and adjusting. All right. Hey, looks like we're doing good. All right, Aunt Janice. Let me know if you're able to hear me. All right.
Yes, I hear you.
All right. We got two or three other people that's gonna join us on this stream, and then we'll give a few updates, and then I'm gonna let have you all to do the talking tonight, because I think that in order for people to understand just how real it is, they need to hear from other people. We are live on TikTok and on Facebook, and so now I oh, I can hear you on TikTok. Wonderful. So the of course those to whom I don't think anyone is relatively new to this conversation. Um, Aunt Janice, if you if little cuz is there, tell her to go on Facebook and let me know if if she can see everything all right there.
She don't have Facebook, nephew. She don't
Oh,
have
oh,
Facebook.
got you. All right, let me see. Tell I hate that my computer went out. All right, well, I'll tell them to check later on. All right. I wonder if we can do more than one. All right. Well, so there are a few. Let me see here. I just seen TikTok. Someone one of my I seen a few of my children's names just pop up on TikTok. Someone go on Facebook and let me know what the stream is looking like there. I'm functioning with two devices instead of three, and so I can't see as much as I would usually see. Unfortunately, invite up to six guests. All right, so updates. As you all know, last week I believe it was Friday or so, there was a there was a phone call that was made that was that was influence of prank calling. The All right, wonderful. Thank you, son. There was an influencer, and if you're on Facebook and you're asking questions, there's a chat feature I'm supposed to be able to see. We'll see if it works properly. If I don't see your question or whatever, send it to me again. Send it to me. Facebook is here. I see you and you're on. Wonderful, wonderful. So we're on TikTok and we're on Facebook. Everything looks good. Wonderful. Makes me feel good. All right, so there was a phone call, and we have three other guests that are coming. I sent them the link so that we'll pop them in when they get here, and we'll go from there. There was a guest that, excuse me, there was a call that went out, and okay, we're adding to the stream. There was a call where a lot of things were said, and I, of course, have been heavily clear on the fact that some of those things that were said are completely untrue. But the other thing that was mentioned was the mentioning of the Clarendon County Sheriff Department, and the precious brother was mentioned by name. All right, so here's the action plan. We need a statement from Clarendon County Sheriff Department, and I need you all to help me to pressure them, because we need to know how involved they are. We need to know how involved they are, and if they're not involved, they should put our hearts at ease by coming and telling us that. We shouldn't have to assume that, because if you heard the phone call, you heard for yourself. Yeah, Tim and I talked, and he knows everything. And I'm a little bit concerned about how quiet Clarendon County leadership is. And so we I would encourage you all to help me to keep pressure on them in regards to um in regards to coming out and saying something. There are some other things that are going on in the background as far as some influence in other areas in Clarendon County that has nothing to do with this, but it was a whole nother situation in regards to one of the individuals who was one of the top tier leadership at Have Faith was working for the election commission and no longer has that job for whatever reason. Listen, the point becomes if you were to go to the website alkalu.org, you would see a lot of pictures with a lot of people who have a lot of authority. And okay, add to the stream. All right. Our other guest that came on that's here on the stream, just say something to us so that I can make sure that your device is working properly. Miss Hilton.
Hey, I'm here.
All right, wonderful. Okay, so how would you say it? Well, thank you for asking. One of the things that we've been doing is posting a good bit. Um, we've also been calling a good bit. I've called up there every day. The sheriff has been notified. I'm distinctly aware of that because, as you know, on Facebook, you can't see who sees your post, but you can see who sees your story. Mommy of two in 1971. I see you on TikTok. I don't know who this is, but they're liking the live a good bit. Sean, I see you on TikTok. Blessed T Hands by Tanya. I see you. Thank you all for jumping on. Facebook, I can't necessarily see you unless you comment or something, but thank you all for being on. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I have my aunt, who is the sister of my grandmother, and tonight, and we'll talk more about some of those other developments and things. Tonight we are talking about Danielle Philly. I see you on TikTok. Tonight we're talking about family isolation because one of the things that all of us have in common is that we all have experienced that. Those of us that are here on the stream, we have experienced this whole idea of being separated from our families and up to and including. Thank you so much, Shalina Caldwell. Please pray for me and my family. We also have representatives from another family that has been impacted by the goings on at Have Faith and goings on at excuse me, with the Johnson family. And there's one other person that I know is supposed to be joining us, one or two other people. So my aunt will, I'll give her the opportunity to speak first to this piece in regards to my grandmother, and then we'll just work our way down the line. Let me see if I can take myself. Go ahead, Aunt Janice. I'm gonna see if I can put you on the. It may not do it because I'm the host, but um, I know that we'll be able to hear you and they'll be able to see you on their screens. All right, go ahead.
Okay, my journey with this whole situation started in 1998. I remember my sister first got into she so-called organization. She told me and mommy that she joined an organization. So we was like, okay, then that'd be nice. So you could mix and mingle with other people. As time went on and on and on, she just disappeared. She never got back in contact with us, never called us or nothing. It was just like a periodically ongoing situation with her. So finally, I would say like in 1996, when my sister passed away, which is her sister, we went to the funeral in Georgia. That was our first time ever seeing her was at my sister's funeral. So we talked and we talked, and then all of a sudden, she just disappeared off of service. Never got in contact with, no calls, just vanished. So we began to wonder, like this is not like her. I'm like, this is not my sister because she always used to communicate with me all the time. She would talk to me and mommy all the time. And then she just vanished. So in '89, we moved. We was living in Georgia, and we moved to Florida. And she was she still she'll come call us every now and then all of a sudden she just disappeared. We never heard from her. So in my mind, I was like, okay, it's something going on with her. And I'm like, that's not like my sister. She normally call me and mom. As time went on and on, so like in um 2003, she her friend Hans. She said she got him. He was joining an organization. No, she so called it was an organization. I'm like, okay then. So y'all in the same church organization together? She was like, yeah. I'm like, okay then. And then my niece got into it. She got my niece in 1997. My niece joined it, and we was like, oh, so it's just like a family. All y'all in the same church organization. So she called it was a church organization. I'm like, okay, that's nice. Since all y'all in the same at the same church in the same organization, she always called it an organization. I didn't know it was something totally different until as time progressed. That's when mommy got in 2003.
On TikTok, share the broadcast, please.
2003. She was like, oh, I'll just call and check on y'all. She like, I have a financial advisor. I'm like, you have a finance advisor? She said, yeah. This one of the sister at the church, she's over my finances. I'm like, why would you want somebody to be over your finances and you can handle your own? She told me, oh, because I see I can't manage my own money, my own self. I would rather help somebody. I'm like, girl, is you crazy? You gonna let somebody who not related to you have access to your money when you got family, you got grandsons and your daughter? She like, oh, she cool. I'm like, okay then, it's fine. If you think that's what you, I'm like, you sure she handling your finances and not taking your money and putting it in her pocket? I'm like, girl, it's something wrong with you. My sister, when I see this whole system, I just don't see this like my sister because I know my sister. It was just like she wasn't thinking, her mind wasn't revelating to her with all this little craziness. And I'm like, girl, it's something wrong with you. I just couldn't understand. Me and mama could understand why would she want somebody to take over her finances for her when she could do it her own self. It's just like my sister wanted it literally because my sister was very smart. It was just crazy. So as time went on, she told me um that my niece got in some trouble and they sent her to South Carolina. So we was like, what she going to South Carolina? She like she got into trouble. We never questioned her what happened. We just know that she went to South Carolina. She like, right, is this in some to living with the other church organization? I'm like, so you telling me they got two organizations? So I'm registering my mind like, I'm like, Pat, this sounds like you in a cult. She said, I know this not a cult. This is church order. I said, girl, you is crazy. That sounds like a cult that you is connected into. These people got control over you. You can't call your family when you isolate everybody. You have to sneak and call them on the phone. And then she told me they find out that she talking to some of her family members. They take her phone and lock it up in the drawers. I'm like, girl, you crazy. I'm like, you let these people take have power, turn over your life. I'm like, girl, there's something wrong with you. I'm like, I don't understand you. And then, oh my God, this stuff. It's really getting to me because I cannot. It's that's not my sister. I know that. My nephew know that. We was all close together, real close. It wasn't a thing that we never. We always was close. And then all of a sudden, my sister just isolated from her family, but she never got contact us, never, because she let these people control her. It was just
And
like crazy. And then that's when my mommy got sick, and she was on dialysis, had to take insulin. And I remember that she came and see about her for a while. Then she went back to South Carolina, and then nephew came, and we was telling him, "You better come see grandma before she passed away." My mom passed away in 2012, and in between that, before she passed away, I always used to go over there take care of her, me and my son. So my nephew told me some stuff that happened when he was there on with the cult people. I call them the cult people because that's what they is. Cult. He told me and mommy some stuff, and so mama got on the phone and she confronted my sister about. She like, "Oh, Devon don't know what he's talking about. He's lying." And mama said, "You mean to tell me, Pat, you let another man beat your grandson?" And she like, "Oh, he don't know what he's talking about." My mom
Thank you,
said, "You
Jadara.
think I'm really crazy?" And then periodically as time in there, it was a time one morning I was there and she got a phone call, and I was asking mama, I'm like, "Mommy, who is you talking on the phone?" She was like, "This pastor." I'm like, "Why is he calling you for? He don't need to call you." Come to find out, he pushed my sister up to call my mama and ask her that she need to come to South Carolina so that she can take care of her. I told him, I got on the phone. I told him, I said, First of all, you don't have to call my mama because she have grandchildren and she have children that'll take care of her." I said, "You might have access to my sister um fed money, but you won't have access to hers and not on this earth long as I'm living because I am her daughter." And I said, "I do not appreciate you calling my mama with no foolish and telling her that she could come to South Carolina. You won't never get hold to her assets and have her crazy like you got my sister." Okay, that's what I told him. So he hung the um he's was still talking. I'm like, "Listen, man, I told you you don't need to ask my mama no question. You need to answer the question to me." Come to find out, he didn't know that nobody was there with her, but I was there, and I know what he asked my mama. So that killed that, and he never called back again. Never. So my mama passed
So,
away in
Aunt
20.
Janice,
Huh?
talk to them about the fact that back in New York, there was a point where grandma was, prior to all of this, that where my grandmother was kind of sending money to her mother and to
Yes.
help out, and the church
She
got
was
upset.
she would faithfully send money to mommy every all the time, and all of a sudden, that's when the money got cut off. She stopped sending mama money because them cult people told her that she couldn't send her no more money no more. And we was like, "Why you can't send mama no more money? You been sending her money." And I said, "You let them cult people tell you that you can't send your own mama money and help her out? That's crazy." Yeah, that's the God heaven truth for real.
And now, I remember that being a conversation. This was in around 2002 or so when they took over her money. Now, I will remind you all that at the time, I was 12, 11 or 12 years old. And that was when the church really got over her finances.
Yep.
And so the other day, the preacher made the comment, the blabbering bishop, y'all know that's what we call him, said that I was taking her money. Now this happened when she was living in New York in 2002, and we were still in South Carolina. I remember there being a conversation that the church found out that grandma was sending money to her mother, and they
Mm-hmm.
got upset about that. And
Yep.
I remember my mother saying that the reason that she was called into a meeting about it was because grandma lied and told them that she was sending money to my mother. And they questioned her about it. And she said, "Well, my mother hadn't been sending me any money." And that's how they found out that it was going to Florida. That's how this whole thing came up of the church being over her money. And when they took over her money, they stopped her from sending money down to Florida.
Mm-hmm. It's correct.
Now, the other thing is that when she came to South Carolina in 2010, I was gone by then. But as my aunt said earlier, the church took her phone, put it in the desk drawer in his office, is what I was told later. And so she wound up getting a new number and a new phone and all of that. But this is
Yep.
why I knew that as it stands right now, Auntie, have you all heard anything from her since
No, we have
last
not
week?
heard from her. I tried to call her number. They say the phone, the wireless, the Verizon wireless number is no longer in service. It has been disconnected.
So this is day 10,
Yes,
and
the 10th
nobody in the
day.
family had no one in the family. My other aunt is on here, and that's my that is my aunt Janice's sister-in-law, my grandma's sister-in-law. Her husband, we call him Uncle Snoop, is her husband. That's their brother. No one in the family has heard from grandma. No one in the family has heard anything, and from what I understand, Montez, I see you on TikTok. About time you knew how to make it work. From what I understand, it's been very very quiet around there. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine in Manning rode through there at 7:30 in the morning. Said they didn't see any cars, so I don't even think that they had church yesterday. Someone said they may be out of town. I don't know what they are or aren't. And but the idea is that this is not something new to our family. This has
Mm-hmm.
been going on for years. Now,
Yep.
so that's we'll come back and compare notes. But we have two other people on this stream here that will identify themselves and to whom they're related and give us their story. Um, Miss Hilton and Miss Dow, either one of you all that want to go can go first.
I don't know if you can hear me. This is Miss
Y-
Dial for Shemia.
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, well, the reason we're joining the live tonight is because Daquana, which and I've heard that her name has changed. Not real sure to Aaliyah or something like that. But we are joining in live because she has, ever since they had took her since her mother passed, we have not heard from her. Well, the sister have been hearing from her through text. But I think that since these live came up, she tried to text her. She haven't been hearing from her. She's never met any of the children. They have been isolated. When you do see her, when I've seen her just once in Walmart, they surround her so she's not able to talk. She just speak and keep going. So we're trying to get someone out there just to do a welfare check on her to make sure she's okay. Like I said, we have never met the children. Kwani and her mother were staying with me when her mother fell in bad health, and he had her sign paperwork. This is how he even got Kwani, that my aunt was not knowledgeable or knowing what she was signing, and that's how they ended up getting Kwani. They didn't legally adopt her. um she was going to school there, and when we she was in Charlotte with me and my kids and her mom, he used to come pick her up on weekends to come and go to the mall. But when her mom got in really bad health, I didn't allow her to go.
Hmm.
But then they had some type of paperwork that they had signed. When Kwani did leave and went with them, she never returned back. So I went and I tried to get DSS involved. I tried to get law enforcement involved. No one would get involved in what he had. So whatever paperwork he had, doctor up or whatever that was signed, they were able to overpower everything that we did. So he ended up having a stay away order from me. So I was not able to go there. I was not able to, when she got hurt in the hospital. I was working at the hospital at the time, and we were not able to even see her. The nurses wouldn't even let me go and check on her. They made sure someone was in the room and guarded her 24/7. They would not let any other family member. She has a sister, which is the Wanda Court, that loves her. Been trying to get in contact with her, send her gifts. They will send it back to Dewanda. They
Jesus
would
Christ.
not let her have any communication with her. So she also has a brother, Jermaine, and plenty of cousins, her host of cousins, aunts and uncles that all been trying to get in contact with her, that have been trying to get her, and they just would not let her go. All they was so adjusted on was her benefits that she was getting off of her mother. So that I do know that they will hold you and take your checks.
And the thing of it is, even in regards to this situation, and I don't know what paperwork would have been signed, but I do know. And to answer, I just seen someone ask a question on TikTok. What is this live about? This live is about a cult in South Carolina that has done a number of things. Tonight we're talking about how they isolate those to whom are in the cult from their families. The thing in regards to DeQuanda, she was not old enough to speak for herself
Right.
when all of this took place. Speak to that, if you will.
No, she was a minor when he took her. She was a minor, and like I said, the paperwork that his her mom had signed prior to me knowing what was going on and prior to her coming to live with me, um, I did not know that was in place at the school that which and she was attending at the time. But I had took her from the school, and she was enrolled in school in North Carolina with where her sister would reside and I had reside, and her mother at the time. So, whatever he had signed when she fell on her sick bed and could not make decisions or whatever for herself, once she passed away, he definitely had full control. He took her. Like I said, we never were able to see her. We fought her sister fought for her. Her brother went there. My aunts went there. They would not allow any of us to see them. They wouldn't allow phone calls. They wouldn't, they just kept her there. And next thing I know, she was supposed to be living with them as a daughter. And then she ended up with his grown old son and having, next thing we know, she was pregnant and, hiding out and having babies by the preacher, Dwayne's son.
And someone asked in the chat, what is the name of the cult? They go by a number of names, but the easiest one, Have Faith Community Development Corporation, led by Dwayne Johnson Sr. And so, in regards to, and by the time all of this happened, I was gone. I left in December of 2009, but I've heard things down through the year. What lawyer is drafting all of this paperwork for them? That's an interesting question. There are a number of attorneys that come up. I posted about 5 power of attorney documents. There's one particular attorney from Sumter that is listed. His father used to be a judge, but there are a few other attorneys. So in regards to this situation with this young lady DeQuanda, she and I do remember her. I remember her mother being around. Um, I remember I knew that she was sick, but by the time she passed, I was already gone. Now, my understanding is also that DeQuanda was hit by a car or something, and that there was a court case, which I did my research on that, and I was trying to find where usually you can find where if the case was settled or what have you. There are a number of things that, interestingly enough, you, even with other people around there, you can't find a whole lot of
Right.
information about. So because the question came up, was it about the money that she was going to get from that accident? But I hadn't been able to follow up with whatever happened with that case
Oh, and I'm
based
sure
on.
it was a lot of money because, from my understanding, it was a company truck van that hit her.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and I raise that point because one of the things that I want those who are not familiar, and I know there's some of you who have been on here since day one, um, but there are those to whom may not be as familiar with this situation, but money drives practically everything that they do, everything that they think about. So, no doubt there were benefits when the young lady's mother passed away, but then you have this court case. And when it comes down to young people, he seems determined to have all of these young people up around him, and they use the other young people as a bait in order to draw young people in.
The other youth.
Now,
Hmm.
and the idea is that it seems I don't know how to say this, but to say it, it seems that in Clarendon County, the powers that be just almost seem to be complicit, because I know that I just now started this noise in regards to my grandmother, but you all have been fighting with Clarendon County law enforcement or whoever for years to no avail. Am I correct in that?
That's correct.
And so I think that one of the things that we need to take from this live tonight for all of us that are watching this, no, they need our local leadership needs to be more accountable to the fact that there are people who are genuinely concerned about this, about them. That and I said, someone asked last week when we were when all of this was, hold on a minute now. All right. So I don't really know how to move. I don't know how to get people off TikTok, and I don't know who this is with the black face, your long lip ASS. I don't know who that is, but go find something else to do. Let me see if I. Oh, I do know how to get rid of you. Now I don't know who that is with this black face, but if you somebody being funny, you better make that known because you're about to be blocked. We don't do that. Um, yeah, we're gonna go on and block them because and nobody got time for that. And it's interesting. Let me say this. Let me say this, and I don't know who this is, but you're about to be blocked like right now. Shapu 49 followers. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get rid of you. Let me say this. Have faith has been all in my stories. They won't like nothing or what have you. Of course, they're not gonna like nothing, but they act like they're so uninterested. Now you know on Facebook you cannot see who likes a post or who's watching. If I'm not in that Facebook app, I cannot see who is coming on live to watch. As a matter of fact, with this, I can't even see what number is actually on. But I can, when I post my stories, see who's there. And all of these people that have been quiet and not saying much or nothing and supposed to be so uninterested or what have you, they are very, very, very active in regards to every story that I post. Now, one of the things I want to say is that if I ever say war, I mean it, because this stuff is it's no reason why people should have this story of family missing and can't talk. I don't care what organization or whatever you are part of. Like I said in regards to my grandmother, um, uh, the demand was never, and even with these individuals that are on now, I don't think the demand is necessarily, or from the beginning, the demand was not, oh, they need to come out and be with us. If now in Daquanda's case, she was a kid, so that's a whole lot of a different conversation. But if they choose that, fine. But no church should have the opportunity to say, no, you don't deal with this. And that now there are others who have this same deal. Some up in New York who have family members in South Carolina or had family members in South Carolina, and they're not hearing from their family. They're not in touch with their family. I remember my godmother had a sister that moved from New York, and they didn't want the sister lived right next door to us. She owned the trail and lived next door to us, and the church did not want her to have a relationship with her sister. So would whenever church people would come, you'll okay, offside Vaughn, who are you? And if you want, no, we just gonna block. We not doing that. I'll deal with that in a minute. Whenever her sister would come over to the house, if any church people were there, she would go hide out in the guest bedroom. Your dad. Yeah, and you about to be blocked because I don't know who you are. And y'all, look, I tell you what, um, this little tactic y'all got, because now we ain't had this problem before. But whoever this is, let me go on and give you all the rundown I told you the other night when y'all were trying to come on. I run this domain. Y'all run Alkalu, and that's about all you run. But I will block every one of you as I'm about to do you right now. I hope you enjoyed your time here. Let's go to block account. Confirm. All right. So obviously y'all can see what's going on here. Now, this is on TikTok. I can't see. If anyone see any stupidness on Facebook, please let me know. But so far I ain't seen nothing. I can't see the fullness of what's on Facebook though. But so we have these individuals that are coming on. The phone call didn't work, so now they want to act stupid on the live. And understand, this is what I need us to see. Many of you all heard that phone call the other day, and if you heard the phone call and did not go see my live where I dealt with every facet of that phone call, please take the time to do that. But we can see that they're getting antsy and jumpy and things of that nature, because one of the things I said is that's the word I was trying to think of, trolling. Yeah. But one of the things I want to say is, when you're standing and walking in truth, you do not have to hide. You don't have to back down. You don't have to cower. The fact of the matter is, nobody from Have Faith has come out and made an open statement yet. Not one person. I've not been hiding. I've not been secretive. We've been here. And so I don't know what it is that they well, we know that they want to keep all of this quiet, but I don't know what it is they expect to accomplish by doing little stupid stuff like this on this stream on TikTok, or by that dumb awful phone call the other day. But the fact of the matter is, when somebody is lying, of course, you're going to throw the rock and hide your hand. There's no reason why people should have to be trying to contact law enforcement and having to do wellness checks in order to get their relatives, lying on the police department line. And the fact of the matter is, I can go on and say, I spoke with the Clarendon County Sheriff Department, and I'm waiting on the sheriff to confirm it, but I was told that the sheriff never went out there. But yet on that phone call, and this came from someone who works in the sheriff department. As I said, it's an active investigation, and I've been on the phone every day making sure the active investigation don't get lost or buried, just like that court case that I posted about a few days ago that I filed 3 years ago and never heard anything back. Another interesting thing happened today. I've been trying to get something in writing from Grace School Association that um, that accredited them that accredited them at one time. And for years I've been fighting with them about my high school diploma, and Dwayne Johnson kept telling me, we can't give you another one. You won't get another one. You can get a transcript, but you have to come to us whenever you need that. In other words, that was their bait to keep me coming to them. Now I have a college degree at this point, so it doesn't matter. But today, Grace Association sent me an email saying that the school said I can get a transcript or a diploma whenever I want to. All I have to do is ask. Well, I bet so at this point. But the fact of the matter is, I've been gone from there 16 years. I started this mess 12 years ago asking about my paperwork, and y'all wouldn't comply. Will Green, the church, let me read it. The church controlled people by giving them titles, and man has desire for self-importance over the importance of the word of God. Okay. That whole thing is ridiculousness going on in New York. My uncle is unfortunately up there in it. And so, and to our point, it's not just South Carolina. It's not just South Carolina. The church in Florida is virtually non-existent. But these other churches, New York and South Carolina, this stuff is very, very, very prevalent, and it's not appropriate. It's not right. And so, um, Miss Hilton, before you get off, I want this. If you wanted to add to the conversation about your cousin, you're more than welcome.
Yes. So I was a child when all this was going on too. So I know my cousin DeQuanda, she started going down there as a alternative school because she got kicked out of Manning school system. So they allowed her to go to the Have Faith, or what is it, the Mother Geneva Academy.
Mother Geneva Johnson
Yeah,
Academy. Yep.
they allowed her to go down there for her school. So at first, it was just, school. And, she wasn't really into church. Cause I remember me and Kwani, we were very close. Like me and her, we first cousins, but we was like sisters. We was always inseparable. So, she didn't really care for church like that. Cause her mom, she was heavily in church. But at first, it was like, oh, I don't really want to go to church. But then, as soon as she started going down there, it's like, she just fell in love with church. And I'm just like, girl, what's going on? But I got to the point where I was like, I'ma just follow up her. I'ma go to. And I remember it was one service that I did go to. And when I tell you, even as a child, I just knew it wasn't right. It's just like, I know you were talking about how y'all had to like kneel and do all of that. I
Mm-hmm.
never gone to a church that had to do that. Um, the after church, it was the church meeting, but we went to the house. I think that's in Bloomsville,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
y'all had to write the letters because they had the announcements like, "Oh yeah, write the letters, write Tyler Perry,
Yeah.
Oprah."
Yeah.
We need to,
Right. The stars trying to get donations.
yeah, and I'm like, this ain't right. But yeah, like they just stopped communication. Like once her mom like fell sick, they didn't want her to like be around her mom even. Like and then like the family they kind of like remind her, these are your mom's final days. You're gonna wanna be around her. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna
Yeah.
wanna be there. But she just, oh, I gotta go to school. I have to they're going on a trip. But it's just like, okay, but your mom, she only has like a couple of days. And I remember they sent DSS to say like her siblings, like her brother, her sister, were abusing her.
Yeah.
While her mama was in there, couldn't even like talk or like move or anything. They sent them there to like investigate. Like while the
Jesus.
energy should have been on trying to make sure my aunt was okay, they sent them there to say like, oh yeah, they're beating her, they're mistreating her, just to try to like build that case up like, oh,
Yep.
she shouldn't be in their care because both of them they were of age where they could have taken her, but um I did kind of ask my cousin about that, and she was like, they did try to fight it, but in the state of South Carolina, they told them at the age of 16 that
A
she
child.
could choose
Mm-hmm.
where she could choose where she want to live at.
Yeah. That is a law here in South Carolina.
And then even when we would want to like go visit her, I didn't know that until you said that she would go hiding because they were always, oh, she's not here. Because we would try to go up to the school or to the house, but she was never there.
And the thing is, nobody goes anywhere alone. So if they were there, she was there. But this is the tactics that they use in order to keep people in order to keep people isolated from their loved ones and whatnot. Because nobody goes in. First of all, the girl didn't drive, so how is she not there? And they certainly don't allow. If they didn't allow her to interact with you or her family, who else is she interacting with on the outside?
Yep. And then I remember my cousin, she had sent her a phone and everything, so she can keep in touch with her. They send the phone back. They won't let her talk on the phone. They wouldn't let her, be
Oh,
on the phone. Even out in public, would see her. And it took years because like I said, we were very close. So it's like I missed her a lot. But then I finally would see her in public, and you can't even really interact with her because it's always somebody there. Like it was just like, oh hey, how you doing? and like she quickly had to go. Like we couldn't just sit there and catch up or anything. Like it was always somebody watching her.
Yeah, that's them. And so, talk to me about how that affects you all as a family now. And I know the answer, but I think that people watching, and I see the question about T. Put that back in later on, and we'll attend to that. Talk to us about how that affects your family now, for the sake of those to whom are watching and listening.
I mean, it hurts. Like that was my best friend growing up. Like that was my sister. Like we wasn't like sisters, but even like with her blood sister, Dewanda, I can tell it hurts her. Like even like whenever we'll hang out and stuff, and I'll kind of ask about her. You can just tell like she's hurt by it. Like that's her little sister, and she can't even like see how she's doing. She got
Mm-hmm.
kids now. We don't know them kids. We never met the kids. Like the only time I seen the kids was on Facebook, or I see like they were posted on Facebook. Like
And and
we
that's
don't
the
we
same
don't know
thing,
her now. Like we don't
right?
or we don't know where she's at. We don't know how to get in contact with her. Like every now and then, um, I might be a message here and there, like, I love you, or hope you're doing good, but that's it. Like we can't talk like how we used to.
And I remember, so, and even I don't even have to say I remember to that point. Right now, my mother and I are beginning to build a relationship, but for 3 years we didn't talk, and even before that, we didn't engage but so much because you don't go down there and just sit in the house and enjoy Sunday dinners and things like that. So they have no regard for family. They have no regard for the fact that these people have people that love them, but then they're preaching and their rhetoric is your family don't love you and your family don't care for you. And then the extension of it is, and I can say this because I remember it when I was there. If your family loves you, they would be here. Why do we have to be there and deal with you, the head honchos over there, in order to deal with our families? That's the problem and this is these things that make it so characteristic of a cult. I didn't just pick that word out of the clear blue sky. All of these are things that we're talking about tonight that have been going on for years. Right. And as someone said, I just read where someone said that it's shocking to believe that this is going on right in our neighborhood, in our community. So all of this conversation about occult and Manning and occult and alcohol, people are shocked, of course, because you didn't know. But the fact of the matter is that just if it was just, and this is what I keep trying to drive home with even these attacks, if it was just me talking, fine, you can maybe discredit one person but we have all of these people who have all of these stories, who have been through so many things, and you can't deny everything, even if you can deny some of it. You can't deny all of it. But please continue if you had more to say.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it all happened like when I was younger too, and I remember even it was one night because this was in the era where they basically had her like staying after school, quote unquote after school, and it was like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. She's still there, but she did somehow get to come stay the night with me at my house, and I remember like early that next morning, they was like calling her phone and like, oh, we about to come get you, or we about to come pick you up. And then like, I told my mama like, okay, they say they about to come get her, like, what's going on? And she was like, oh no, absolutely not. Like, that's not how we roll. Like, that she came over here because her mom brought her over here. So she's going back to her house. She's not getting picked up by nobody. So that's
Yeah,
how they are. Like they just think that they can like control over anything you got going on. Like just you a part of their program. And
yeah,
even like it took me a minute, like even after all of that happened, to realize, like, okay, this is a cult. Cause I can tell you, anybody that would listen to me and like that I've been friends with, dating with, or anything, I told them about this situation, and it's just like, oh wow, like really. So now that it's like really out here on the forefront, it's like everybody's like, wow, you've been saying that, like that's crazy.
And what's crazy to me also is, like, you have all of these people now who are saying, I knew something was weird, something weird was going on. I knew that something just didn't seem right. And so now you have all of this other, and I am convinced that the minute that some paperwork get pulled, the minute that someone with authority really starts digging in, we're gonna find out more than even more than I know. I am concerned about how, and I know that these kinds of things take time, investigations take time, and all of that. I'm concerned about the fact that, one, how has this gone on as long as it has? And two, now that it's coming out and all of these people are saying, I knew something was weird was going on and all of that, why is it taking our, or y'all's, because I don't live down there, why is it taking the local leadership so long to say this is something that we're looking into, something that is causing us concern? At this point, it's moving from just free my grandma to free everybody who want to be free. Of course, I put the post out that if you over there and you innocent, you better be figuring something out, because I told y'all I was coming and I
Yeah.
wasn't playing about that. But that at this point, that's where I'm at with it. Okay, we need to know that you all are taking this serious, because we have all of these people who are telling these awful stories of things that happen, and now we have this construct for trafficking, because that's what this is. When you talk about moving people from one place to another, when you talk about people disappearing, when you talk about, for whatever reason, we think trafficking is just about sex, and it's not. It's any purpose, any service. And I mean, at the end of the day, we don't have to reach to tie in the other, because at the end of the day, this girl was moved into the pastor's house only for a few years later to marry the pastor's son. When at one time they were calling each other bro and sis, according to another
That's what I
lie.
know about too. Cause wasn't he her teacher and everything?
Indeed, he was. Indeed, he was.
From teacher,
He
the brother and sister to husband and wife. That's
And the
crazy.
thing of it is, the thing I know for a fact, based on hearing things, is that okay. So when it became clear that they were getting married or whatever, um, they were supposed to have gotten married at one point, in December of whatever year that was, and all of a sudden, the wedding was moved up to October, like at the drop of a dime. Nobody knew it. It was a breast cancer event, and it turned into their wedding. And then 9 months almost to the day, there's a bouncing baby boy, I believe it was, which would be unfortunately Dwayne the third. I don't know that we need another Dwayne, but whatever. Um, Now you have all of these things, and then the conversation was, "Oh, she got pregnant on the honeymoon." Well, now that's just too perfect. That is just too perfect. That the wedding is moved up, and she gets pregnant on the honeymoon, and there's a baby 9 months to almost to the exact time. That's just a perfect world, isn't it? And
Mm-hmm.
so you have all of these things that are going on, and I think he is like he is 10 years older than her. He's about 5 years older than I am. He's 9 to 10 years older than her. He's 5 years older than me, and she was about 4 years younger than me. So he's about 9 to 10 years older than her. And
Yeah.
they,
Then I seen about the guy saying, he was saying that she had AIDS or something. Now that is crazy.
yeah, he's in the comments. I just posted that. Who the H lies about their alleged adopted daughter having a. See, this is what you have to understand about them down there. Nobody is safe from any allegation. They'll say anything about anybody. They will say anything about anybody. And so prior for the sake of keeping other people from being interested, they'll say something like that just for whatever they had in mind. All right. Now, let me also be abundantly clear. We don't have anything that we can put hands on to prove that they brought this girl into the house for the sake of marrying her off to his son. And I'm saying this just for the sake of legal purposes,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look good
Right.
for
Yeah.
this to be a conversation. No, just like it doesn't look good that 10 days ago I seen my grandmother and now nobody ain't hearing from her. And this is what half faith does not realize. They live in this bubble where whatever Dwayne Johnson says is the deal. And the thing of it is that you don't have the luxury of being able to rewrite everybody's memory or everybody's interpretation. Because the idea is that there are those of us who got our good sense, and we ain't nearly brainwashed, and we know what we remember. We know what we've seen. We know what we've experienced. Because other than that phone call, not one person has come out and said any of what all of us that are talking, uh, no one has come out and called any of it lies. And I hope that the powers that be, whoever's investigating in it, I hope that they're seeing that. And I pray to God that this is not another one of the things that are swept under the rug, because I don't think that at this juncture we can afford that. How many more people going to go missing or be moved up the road or what have you? How many more powers of attorney documents are going to be filed before someone realizes that this is a stain on the reputation of those to whom are in charge? Right now, there are people who I won't call by name, but they quiet, and they are leaders and influencers, and they're in the pictures. If you want to know what I'm talking about, you just go to the website. They're in the pictures, and we ain't heard nothing from them separating themselves. Because my question is, if there are people who have never been to Alcala who can say something's wrong, something's weird, something's off, how is it that how is it that you, Isaiah, I can't use that individual's name, but I see your comment. I tell you what I will do, I'll post it. I can't I gotta notice. And now at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is you can't send a Facebook or an Instagram message and think that that's legal. But if you have never been to alcohol and felt it was weird and off and things are crazy, how much more so are the individuals who are pictured with them, are the individuals who have been to graduations and been to this, that, and other? How much more so should you have gotten the vibe? And if you didn't, say something. Don't make the people feel like, all right, y'all using people's name. I don't care, but I'm just telling you, they trying to play every card they got. But yeah, that's your cousin, and she's saying she's not associated, and maybe
And
she ain't anymore.
I was telling my girlfriend, even like this past weekend, now would be the perfect time where they would be having events and stuff to draw people in. When we was younger, they would
Yep.
around holiday weekends, they would have all the little tents out and different things going on. You know, people stopping by
Oh.
and see what they're all about.
Someone's on the chat. I told you not to speak on me all my life. I haven't spoken to you in years. Bless your dear heart. We gonna ignore you. Bless your dear heart. I just wonder if she ever decide. It's interesting to know that you're on and watching. It's interesting to know that. Guess you couldn't hide long. Bless your dear heart. You going and tell the rest of them that we said praise the Lord. I just wonder if she ever decides to leave. Will her kids be held hostage? Probably so. Probably so. Probably so. They because Tyrone told his story the other day um how miraculously he was taken from split custody to his father having sole custody. Funny things happen now. Funny things happen down there now. I'm not hiding. Oh, okay. I'm not. Okay. Bless your dear heart. Well, let me ask you this: is anybody lying? Since you're not hiding, and since you're watching the live and you've been watching, is anyone lying? Answer us that. Since you're here and you're making yourself known, I've been living my life for years. Beautiful. Let's talk about the life that happened before you started living your life. Did beatings happen or not? Let's go straight for the jugular. See, the problem I have with it is this is my problem, and I try not to bother nobody directly. But here's my problem with all of us that grew up and have faith. You all knew I came on to watch because I wanted to see. So you're gonna come on while we live to see if your name is mentioned. You could you could have done that after the live was over, but I said I wasn't gonna say your name anymore. But the fact of the matter is I never said your name from the get-go. Someone asked about you because that's what normal people do when they've not seen somebody in a while. They come, people who were acquainted with you when you were younger, asked about you, to which I said, she's doing well or doing whatever she's doing. The fact of the matter is, nobody really care about you enough to mention your name. Someone just asked about you, and we said what we knew. Didn't you like said girl you were just talking about? Okay, I don't know. I can't speak on anything that's never happened to me. I bet you can't. I didn't ask what happened to you. I said, did beatings happen? This is my point. This is my point. See, well and fine. Say I'm lying. Say I'm lying about beatings. Say I'm lying about people's families being disconnected. Say I'm lying about the fact that the church is over my grandmother's money and has been for years. Say I'm lying about any of that. Since you're here, I never say you give money because I don't know what you do. You go find me the clip where I say you give money to the church, and I'll recant the fact that I'm saying that I never said it. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you. I'm not even doing this because y'all crazy. Or excuse me, people that have faith are crazy. I don't know whether you're associated, affiliated, or not. But don't I said good. I rule this domain. And it's interesting that I don't know how well you dance in a normal life, but you tap dancing real good right now. Now, you all get to see for yourself what kind of foolishness comes from around there. Now, whether she's affiliated or not, you said she's affiliated, donate money. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go look at the lives because the fact of the matter is, I don't remember saying that. I don't remember saying that because I wouldn't know what you're doing or not doing because, as you've so eloquently put it, we've not talked in years. But at the end of the day, you and I both know we grew up and have faith. And as it stands, as I understand, if you've gotten away, good for you. If you've not gotten away, none of my business. But I know you were there after me. I know you were involved beyond the time that I was. So you might want to be a little careful because at the end of the day, I don't even. If anyone else remembers me saying that about her, correct me. I don't mind saying I'm wrong. But at the end of the day, because it was sent to me, and that's why I said don't mention me. Um, girl, hunt, go get on your next plane. I don't got time for you. I don't remember saying that about you, but I'm gonna go check. I'm gonna go check, and if I'm wrong, I'll come back and make a statement saying I said, and I'll recant that statement. But like I said, we all grew up there, and we know exactly what went on in Alcaloo, South Carolina. And you just beautifully danced all around the questions that I asked. So if you don't want to acknowledge everything, don't come trying to bother me about anything. All right. Now, my grandmother and there was someone else who was going to come on, and I've not seen where they came on yet. But my grandmother and rather Daquanda are not the only ones that are separated from their family. There's another young lady who is a relative their family said, their family said on the live the other day when I talked about this whole idea of people. You know what? Bless your dear heart. If I said it, I said it. Now, I don't remember saying it, but if I said it, I said it because at the end of the day, I don't see a very strong move for you to disassociate yourself from them either. So if I said it, I said it. Sue me. Freak off my live. I don't got time to be talking to you. Now, this same story goes to one of his own cousins where so we have someone from DeQuanda's family who is trespassed. Now you have me, who I told DSS from day one that I was going to be trespassed. And he trespassed one of his own cousins. I won't go into the fullness of their story because I would prefer for them to tell their own story. But you have this same story where anytime somebody raises sand or challenges the status quo, the hierarchy over there, they do all they can to get rid of them or to discredit them. And the fact of the matter, even this little exchange you just seen here. Now, that girl ain't the only one from there that's on here watching. Or excuse me, I don't know if she's there anymore. So let's back that up. Um, Now, the fact of the matter is, all in my stories, I'm seeing these wonderful people pop up. Well, we don't know whether they sent her or not, but I know she was there with me. I know she was there when I was there, and I know she was there when I left. If I'm correct, it was this same individual that sent someone in my life a message back some years ago. But that might not have been you either. Now, the fact is that anytime anyone comes with any kind of anything fighting against that whole construct, they become a problem. The only reason why the preacher, we call him the blabbering bishop, said all of these things that he said on the live the other day, on that, well, he didn't know he was being recorded, but on the phone call, is because of the fact that what else can you do besides discredit me, even though you have all of these other people who are saying what they're saying. Now, the fact is, if y'all had allowed people to have their relationship with their family members, like any no, I got plenty of family members that go to whatever churches they go to, and we don't have these issues. Fact of the matter is, my sister's on here. We talk. She don't go to church with me. Why does it have to be that somebody has to go to their church or be giving them money or what have you in order to be affiliated with their family members? And the fact is that they see nothing wrong in that concert. And the way I knew that they knew this stuff was not right is because of the fact that in the enclosed session, they're attacking us and everybody's bothering us and yada yada yada, and them people are crazy and them people are corrupt. But then when it comes down to raising some money, oh, call everybody you know and bring everyone you know in and get everyone you know involved. Why would people who have not been welcomed any other time want to all of a sudden come around now for your fundraiser? The preacher said the other day, the bishop said, I attend all of their events. I haven't been to an event there in 4 years. And before that, I hadn't been to one in about 10 years. And the fact of the matter is, even that one that I went to was because of the fact that my mother had a certain number of tickets they wanted her to sell, and I bought one of the tickets at $75 and attended the event in that regard. Now, hold on a minute, because what this say? I knew. Oh, excuse me. Okay, the Whitney I knew would have stood up for the as she believed in, but to each his own. I'm not. I'm not gonna. I'm not even gonna speak to her. I'm not gonna speak to that anymore. I'll say this: many of them that have come, because I'm not there no more, so I don't know who. as it would seem like, it don't seem like nobody there right now. But in any case, many of those to whom have been around said, okay, gay is the light one. It's the other things he said that was just most disturbing. Said all kind. Now, the fact of the matter is, let's go here with that. How dare you even begin to lift that narrative when y'all have done all of these things that you're doing to people, have ruined the lives of, even when we start talking about that ridiculous school. I started to post a picture earlier of me at the graduation, and I looked at that picture, and I'm smiling, and I'm thinking about, and I reflected on how I'm smiling in that picture, but just got finished reading a speech that we had to let them read before we gave it, so that we wouldn't be at a place where we're saying anything that could incriminate them. And so it's ridiculous and almost disgusting what lengths people will go to in order to try and keep all of this covered instead of just dealing with what is and acknowledging that we've done wrong, acknowledging that there are things that should not have ever happened that did happen. All it Now that won't absolve the legal issue, because the fact is, I know for a fact my grandmother has been severely exploited. And I posted all of them powers of attorney documents because at least two others are older people who died in that I'm sure if there was to be a investigation into their financial affairs prior to passing, you would see where they've been exploited. And the $1 million question is, why am I the problem? Well, I know why I'm a problem to them, but why is it that those who grew up in there and know that these things are true? Now, I'll go on and say it. It brings my heart no pleasure to rain down the hell that I'm raining over there. I won't lie to you. It's not like this is happening. I'm just like, yeah, child, let's get him. No, now, when it comes down to Dwayne Johnson, yeah, he needs to fall. Tyrone Brailsford Sr. needs to fall. But I said good. Anyone who is innocent, get out of the way. Because the fact of the matter is, you got people like that, they probably have policies on everyone. I'm sure they do. Because I remember there being, and as a matter of fact, I was just talking to my mother the other day about the fact that we need to get in touch with her life insurance people and change. She said directly that one of her policies is going to the church. Now, I remember some years ago, my mother got sick, and my sisters were told not to let me know because I was waiting on my mother to die, and I had life insurance policy. I had life insurance policies on her, waiting on her to pass. First of all, at the time, I didn't even have life insurance policy on myself. I didn't have a policy on myself, so how would I have one on my mama if it ain't one on me? But let's go devil's advocate. Suppose I did, and I don't know if I'm able to share. I don't know if I'm able to screen share and put things up on here. But the fact of the matter is that when we look at the fact that Dwayne Johnson, Shonda Nessels, thank you. I've been saying this. A financial audit will tell the story.
Nephew.
Yeah, go ahead, Auntie.
Okay. When back in the days, um, Pat told me and mommy that she had an insurance policy, and she said the court preacher has the policy in his name, but it's not in her name, along with the house that she said that she has, and she said that the court pastor is over the house that she claims that she has.
Yeah, so you have the house that in which they live. That's definitely his house or the church's house, whoever's. But then there's a house in New York that is in her name.
Mm-hmm.
Now they may be changing it now because I done said it, but I thank God that you can change what name is on it now, but you can't change your records. That house has been in her name. As a matter of fact, to tell you how long it was in her name, there was a point where the house is 32 payments late. Now, I ain't good at math like I ought to be, but 32 months is just shy of 3 years where they had been late making the payment. So, and that was about 3 years ago.
Yep.
So the house has been in her name. That house in New York has been in her name at least 6 years. But I'm also seeing now, I just seen some paperwork the other day where property is changing names again. So ain't no telling what going on. But I know for a fact that that house in New York was in her name, and it may still very well be in her name.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they believe in policies. They believe in power of attorney. Now, y'all heard for yourselves. Those who listen to that call, confirm in the chat. Y'all heard for yourselves. The man, the influencer, Yuri, Mr. Kensington, whatever his name is, asked, is she in her right mind? And he said, oh, she's her right mind. She's in her great mind. Tell me, please, why would somebody who is in their right mind, excuse me, their great mind, need a power of attorney? And this ain't no new situation. We going back to 2002, 2003. That's 24 years of
Yep.
somebody being over her.
Yep.
Now, anybody that know anything, I think our little guest might be gone by now. But anybody who know anything about me and my everybody know me and my grandma been close forever.
Yep. The sure was.
At the end of the day, grandma didn't need nobody over her money then, and it certainly ain't because I was taking it at 12 years old and she lived in New York. I love to know how I pulled that off. We didn't have no Cash App back then. It wasn't no Zelle, wasn't no PayPal. It was Western Union, but my mama didn't even have a car to get to the store to get to Western Union unless someone took her.
They
She in her right mind, her great mind. She travels. She can tell you what the Bible say inside and out. So come and get me when I'm misquoting the man. So if someone is that competent, why do they need a power of attorney?
because they need a power attorney because they think that you want. They trying to say that you want the money, nephew, but you don't want the. They want to have access to all the money so that all the money can come into them. It's not nobody else. That's what the whole deal is.
That's it.
Cause they
Apple
want the
Pay.
money for themselves. That's
Yeah,
what
no,
the
we ain't had no
whole
Apple
deal
Pay then.
is.
I don't even think we had Apple phones back then. I don't think iPhone was even out, and we ain't had none of that. So how was I taking the money in 2002?
Cause
And
they was taking the money. Cause
that's
that's what
it.
they focus on. Their whole concept is money. That's what they all about is money. Trying to swindle people and connive people and to turn them the assets and have power turn so that they when they a relative die that they can inherit the money and not the grandkids or the children or the family. But that's what the whole concept is.
Yes. And I also want to speak to this because the individual said that they can't speak to anything that did not happen to them. That girl just said that. They can't speak to anything that did not happen to them, which is a very beautiful point. Because remember the question was asked, was girls be? And the answer was not all girls. Now, it just so happens that that individual is the daughter of someone who ranked higher in the ministry than my mother and ranked higher than some of the other mothers. And so no, you wouldn't have that individual that was just on Whitney would have never gotten a beating. But they knew about him. They knew. And the fact of the matter is now, stuff like that make it hard for me to be politically correct and to be kind and to try and be diplomatic. Because don't come on here blabbing and being fool when the fact of the matter is we know that we're not being as forthcoming as we ought to be. But I tell you what, wait till somebody subpoena your behind, then you're going to have to talk about what you know. Or either run the risk of lying under oath and then your problems will be a whole lot worse. But I told y'all good, it was war. I
Yep,
told you
you
that.
said it. You
I wasn't
said it.
playing. I
Yep.
was not playing. The best thing that they could have done was pack grandma up and say, come get her. And this wouldn't have even been a conversation.
Oh, I
Exactly.
got another question. In 2017, my husband mother lives in North Carolina. We were coming back from North Carolina 2 times. My husband said, "You want to stop by to see your sister?" I'm like, "Them people ain't finna let me see her." So the third time we went up to North Carolina, came. My husband said, "We going in there." We pulls up in there, and Fat was in the school. As we was coming back, this man asked us, he like, "What y'all doing here?" My husband said, "I'm here to see my sister." No, and I said, "I'm here to see my sister." He like, "You gotta have an appointment." I said, "We ain't gotta have no appointment to come in here. We can come in there anytime." I said, "I'm coming there anytime I
An
get ready, and I'm
appointment.
coming back again."
Now, who, Aunt Janice, just for clarity, my grandmother not the one that told you you need an appointment. It was one of the head officials there.
It was a chunky kind of heavy set man, and he had veins around his face. He said that he
Driving,
was
was he
he
driving a big red van or a
he said he
pickup
was the
truck?
assist, he said he was the assistant pastor of somebody.
Oh, he told you he the assistant pastor. I'm so glad you said that because you don't know these people. That's the same one. That's Blabbering Bishop. That's the one that was on the phone the other day. Y'all,
Okay,
man,
then
free my
the
grandma out of there.
the
Free my
bouncer
grandma
house
out of there.
man. That's the bouncer house man nephew.
Yeah, that's the bounce house man.
Okay, then that's him.
Look, okay, so I see what she said. Kiana sent. Kiana, send me whatever she sent. Look, at this point, bump it. If I did say it, I don't even care at this point. If I said it, I said it. The fact of the matter is, I don't remember saying it.
You did
And if
not say it, nephew, because I've been on your lives ever since. You did not say nothing what she talking about. That girl is
But
delusional
well, she's saying
crazy.
now we ain't gonna do to them what they doing to us. She's saying she got a video of me saying it. If I said she is affiliated and she's supporting and she's financially giving, if I said it, I was acting on the information that I have, or excuse me, that I had at one time. If I'm wrong and you're no longer associated, let us know. Since you're in the chat, let us know you're not affiliated with them.
Tell her
Because
to
I
prove
mean
it.
that
Tell
that
her to
that'll
prove
solve the
it.
whole problem. See, this is
Prove
y'all
it.
problem. Y'all don't know when to shut up. Post it on the live, not in the inbox. Exactly. Let's go. If you're not affiliated, if you're not associated, you're here to speak for yourself. Because this is y'all problem. Every time y'all have an opportunity to talk, y'all say something dumb, do something dumb, be dumb, thinking that I'm the dummy. So let her make an appointment if she want to be heard. Y'all crazy. No, no, no. You on here. We gonna give her an appointment right now. Go ahead. Tell us. Tell us you are no longer affiliated with Half A because you can't tell us you wasn't. I'll go find pictures right now with you in the pic with smiling and don't play with don't play because I'll post them. I will post them. Tell us right now that you're not affiliated, and I'll gladly recant. And yeah, thank you, Isaiah. Tell us why you're not affiliated. Because it seemed like you doing a whole lot of talking to make it seem that we don't know. So the ball's in your court. You were chatting before. Them fingers was moving 1,000 letters a minute before. Talk to us now. I pinned the comment. I don't know why she's so hostile and angry. It's such a red flag because that's what they do. When they get under heat, they start showing all of this aggression. That don't work.
She barking like a chihuahua. Tell the chihuahua to
I tell
open
you what
her
I'm gonna
mouth.
do. I tell you what I'm gonna do for the sake of everyone on the live. My sister's gonna send me whatever she sent her, and I'll post it when the live is over. But what I want right now is I want Whitney Elise to tell us that whether she's affiliated or not. Since she was, and at this point you've identified yourself, so I can use your name. Are you? What's that movie? I hate that I'm like this. What's the movie? Oh brother, where art thou? Is you is or is you ain't affiliated? Cause we at the end of yeah, I see that. I done gave it a floor about 2 or 3 times, and we see she ain't saying nothing. Just like when they posted that letter to me, I responded, nothing was said. After that phone call, I responded, nothing was said. But all a few minutes ago, you were clap trapping and typing, and someone subpoena me. Give me a cease and desist. Give me a gag order. Can we talk about the janitor that works at Manor High School with the earring? He is a member that used to always flirt with the girls. at the schoolhouse. This place is nothing but hell. I don't know who you speak of there. I don't know who you speak of. I don't know who the janitor that works at Manor High School is. I don't. You'll have to. I don't know who that is. Now that we have actively seemed to have completely disarmed our defense attorney for half faith, we can't get nothing from it now. I can't even get a period in the comment section. Let's continue our conversation because they keep proving the point. Do I have any reason to hide, to shy off, to back off? To no, y'all. Every time. Yeah, please. Yeah, bring. You're gonna have to bring the picture because I have no idea who it is that you're talking about.
Oh, I got another thing, nephew. The time when Mama passed away, and the court preacher didn't want her to come to her own mama funeral.
Because they don't believe in funerals. They believe let the dead bury the dead. Now, again, if that works for y'all, cool. But you have no reason. And I'm not talking about what I think. My mother, when her biological father died, she was not allowed to go to that funeral. There's another family in the church. Someone lost their father, and he stood up in church and said, I think she's talking about Mr. Holmes. Well, he's not a part of them. He's not a part of them. This individual, Mr. Homer, he's not a part of them. His son used to go, and his son came out and put a video out about 4 or 5 days ago. But no, Homer, that individual wouldn't have. He would. Yeah. Do they bury them or cremate? I understand now that people are being cremated, but at one time it was for one individual, my the information that back to me was she died. They took her from the hospital to the funeral home, and I'm not going to call a name, but I'm going to say the most fancy funeral home in Manning put her in a casket and put her in the ground the next day. The most fancy black funeral home in Manning. That's how I'll say that. Don't don't say no names. If you from Manning, you'll know because that I don't know how. Yeah, right here with Isaiah. Yeah, let's be careful about. I can speak to who I know is in there, but I can also be sure that he was never a part of that. And his son came out and made a statement that he also is not affiliated with them and with this. So, and to the point that I made a minute ago, to the point that I made a minute ago, we don't know. Yeah, and I did know him. My godmother knows Homer as well, and he's a cool individual. Now, I can tell you for sure, he ain't never been part of no half faith. I don't even think that he would be a part if they tried to bring him apart. That just wouldn't go well. I'm sure that wouldn't go well. I know enough about him to know that wouldn't go well at all. But to the point, we were talking about this whole that funeral home, and listen again. A lot of the elite of Manning have been recognized and have gotten support. A lot of those who are in Manning, yeah, he ain't going for that. That's why it ain't no telling how high up this goes. This is why those of us that are directly affected need to be on the phone pressuring them to say something from the local government. Because my thoughts are, if you're not drop the picture of the elite. I have them saved to my iPad, and I promise you, I've been back and forth over the net over the past day or two. I've been thinking about putting those pictures out because these people too quiet for me. These people way too quiet for me. You done had children come out talking about being handcuffed to chairs to be beat. And y'all ain't said nothing to divorce yourselves from this organization. At this point, there's conversation about possible election fraud. And we still not divorcing ourselves from this organization? Sound like we are. It sounds like we are. But I mean, I can't say. I can't. Well, it's on the website. So those pictures are on the website. So I don't mind putting them out. Matter of fact, let me see if I can image photo library. Let's go. 1, 2. There, Lord. Okay. It's not letting me. All right. So I have to put them out after the live because I'm trying to upload them in the live. Let me see if there's a way to flash them on the screen. Because I said it was war. I wasn't playing about that. See, let me tell you what their problem is. Invite should decline. Let me tell you what their problem is over there in Alkalu. They really think, first of all, they think that they the only ones that got any power. Let's start there. But the other thing is they think that the blabbering bishop said, and I need y'all to hear this. I need y'all to hear this. Look at Willie Green comment. Put it back in because if I was on the website, it would take me back to the comment. But I can't. Someone copy and paste that comment and put it back in. I can't go back up to it. Let me see. Willie Green, Willie Green, Willie Green. Is it this? I remember my late father tried to purchase, swearing around the house when the church tried to purchase our family home from under him. And I can give you a list of all the suspected properties the church took access of. Okay. Willie, send me your number. Send me your number. I sent you a message on Facebook from the other day. But send me your number. I'm not saying it was erroneous or corrupt, but definitely. Oh no, it's completely out of line. You don't go taking property from people. And the thing of it is, you're not the only one that's telling me that. And this is not have faith. This is old open door. You're not the only one that told me that. Matter of fact, I was told that the way that the church in New York was built was based on the bishop building his office onto someone's house and just kept building on to, and that became the church in New York. So you're not on, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. It's kind of hard to excuse two different people who don't even know each other telling the same story. And I said, as much as I love Bishop R.P. Johnson and everything that I said about him being a great man and all of that, if there are things, and not if at this point, people are saying things that they're meshing too well, and these people don't know each other, or even if they know each other, one don't know that I talked to the other, so they can't know what we talked about. You can't excuse that. If I was to ignore Will Green, or if I was to ignore the other brother, then I'm no better than those that are ignoring us right now. Yeah, send me your number and I'll call you and we'll talk, because what you're telling me, this ain't my first time hearing that. So now it got me, because the individual I talked to the other day was around from day one, helped build, and I didn't know. Now, because Have Faith is watching my my stuff, I'm not going looking for these people. I didn't know Will Green existed. I didn't know Abraham McKnight, the one that was on the other night, existed. I didn't know these people. I didn't know their names. Even if, now Abraham McKnight didn't know me. Will Green, I don't know if you were around when I was in New York or not. But I didn't know these people. So it's not me going looking for people to just bring y'all down. No, y'all done so much horrible stuff that it's just, at the end of the day, it's like the septic tank being cleaned out. Once you put that hose in there, whatever down there gonna come up. Make sure you are lawyered up and down and down and down. I'm most certain. Okay, here's another Kenston McKnight. So he is the nephew of the brother I spoke with the other night. I didn't know these people existed. No, the stuff is just getting out. All right. And so now I have no problem being attacked for being the one to bring it out. But at the end of the day, every time anyone comes at me, I'm going to come back with truth and reality. And as our guest tonight, who may still be watching and just can't say nothing, as she was rendered silent, so will the others. Okay. Okay. And Lorraine McKnight, I didn't know that. I've been seeing you on since about day one. And I didn't know that was your brother. Because the thing of it is, McDonald, don't get on here. I'm being serious and you coming on here playing. The thing of it is, you cannot expect people who have been mishandled and or traumatized to want to do you the favor of shutting up. Why would they? Why would they? The fact of the matter is, these stories that are being told, these experiences that people have, shouldn't even be a conversation. Nobody should have to be able to say, I'm not in touch with my family. 10 days and I ain't heard from my grandma. Even if grandma mad and don't want to talk about all of this, it ain't no harm to call somebody in the family and say, hey, look, I'm all right. I just ain't talking to Devon right now. Now at the end of the day, like I told grandma, the report was filed Thursday before I got there on that Saturday. And at this point, your own co-pastor, assistant pastor said you in your right mind and all of this great stuff about your mental ability. So all it takes is a social worker asking the right questions. Not even if you want somebody over your money, which I know that's not the case because I know what my grandma done said to me. But even if you want somebody over your money, it's never okay. As a pastor myself, first of all, let me say this: the people I pastor ain't going for this foolishness. I would have that bill. I pastor 3 churches. One of them would fire me, and the other 2 would be empty because I started them. The other 2 would be empty. The one I didn't open, they would fire me. They ain't going for this foolishness. Talking about I'm oh, bring me your accounts and put my name on it, and the church gonna handle your money. What? I I pastor in the hood. I ain't even gonna tell you what some of them people would say to me. So please, spare me. My uncle had to ask permission to go see his mother when they would go to Somerton. And now, again, this is old open door. This has not even have faith. This is old open door and had a time limit. This sounds just like my mother and grandmother never drove. So anytime they went down to Florida, somebody had to drive them, and they didn't have the decency. Towards the last few trips, I heard did someone really steal their playground equipment at the school, or that been a scam? Sir, now I've always been on the fence about that because I don't see how somebody could have come and get that whole playground equipment and nobody seen nothing. Ariel White, were they allowed to be alone? Oh, okay, you're asking her that. Yeah, but someone had to drive them to Florida, and to my understanding, they were not too happy to just drop them off and let them stay. And the 1 or 2 times that happened, it was because the preacher had other things to do. But
He
I
said
remember when
that
my
when my niece passed away, um, they was at his they Pat came to the funeral, and so she introduced me and my husband to. She's like, "Oh, this my this." She said, "Pastor, this is my sister Janice." And he like, "Oh, you the Janice?" I said, "Yes, I am the Janice that you don't heard so much about. That's me."
now, tell me, yes, I am the Janice. Now, now the thing of it is, y'all hearing all this stuff for yourselves. You be the judge, as the blabbering bishop said to the man on the phone. You be the judge, because at this point, I'm not even leading the conversation anymore. I'm just facilitating it, letting other people talk about their experiences.
Oh, and another thing, when he went back to South Carolina, it was told by Travis, your brother, said he preached a whole sermon on me. I'm like, okay, I must be very important if he preached a whole sermon on me.
That's what they do. That man don't get that. He'll open the Bible and start off with the scripture, but he gonna end talking about whatever he think or feel.
He preached a whole sermon on me. I'm like, oh really? He that delusional crazy, he gonna preach a sermon on me? So I must be something important to him then. No, cause you can't fool me. That's why, cause I see
No,
straight through you. That's why, cause I'm not a dummy.
that's it. Now here we go. We have this young lady, Miss Simone says, "Have faith used to take my phone, and if I wanted to go home, they'd accuse me of doing awful things while I was there." They don't have no. They have a strong record for saying ugly things about people. I tried to message you, but it wouldn't allow me. I like to get your contact. Okay, so y'all, the other thing is I am at my max on friends. I'm at my max on friends. I can send you a message or send it to my sister, but I'll send you a message when I get off. And send you my number as well. But my sister has my number, so she can send it. I'm at my max on friends, and I need to go figure out how to open up. If you're not my friend, you can't send me a message, I don't think, because a lot of people have been trying to get in contact with me, and trying to in regards to all of this, and I've not been able to get the messages. So I'll I'll see what I can do about that, and try to fix it. Try to make it where you can access me. But my sister has my number and she can send it to you. Now, the fact of the matter is that, and here we are. I don't know what is this. We've been on live. What this is about the ninth one, eighth one, and the fact is we still ain't told the story. And oh, if I didn't say it earlier, share the stream. Cause first two things I want them to know I ain't hiding. But the other thing is I need Clarendon County to rally. It just goes into another folder on Messenger. Oh, okay. I'll go look because I do know there's that folder spam or something like that. You have to do. You have to have a delete party on Facebook. I do, because I will tell you where they ain't going. It won't be heaven. Not doing people like that. Yeah, you. And that's the thing. They will tie God around this stuff and act like they right. Act like they've done nothing wrong. Act like those of us. I don't understand how you can just say everybody crazy. I don't understand how you can say everybody crazy. That Excuse me, that's what's wild. When it was just me saying it and they were saying, "Oh, they're lying, and he's lying and he's making it up." Fine, say it about me. But now you have all of these other people. So how you gonna disprove every? We need. I can show you screen share later. Okay, I'm not on Facebook live streaming. I'm on Restream because now they're still trying to approve my TikTok. So at some point, what will happen is everything will stream from here out to that way I don't have to be looking between two devices. Um, but yeah, the fact of the matter is that we don't have the luxury of allowing this to just go away. Because the blabbering bishop said at the end of the call, it's gonna get played out. Now, yeah, yeah. He's been in my stuff too. I had somebody by the name of Joshua Lampkins reacting to my post being funny and watching my story. They definitely be watching you, Devon, and who all commenting. It's weird. Yeah, he been in my stuff too. And our dear departed guest or our watching and quiet guest, I don't know which one. The one that Whitney Elise, all of them, all in the story. I've seen and see. I could screenshot. I don't got to let y'all take my word for it. I could show you. But the thing of this, let's go this way with it. If it's all lies, if I'm crazy, why are you so invested? That girl sat on here incognito and quiet. I don't know where Jared is tonight. I don't know where he is tonight. She sat on here incognito and quiet until whatever triggered her, and then she got upset about her name or whatever. And that's what the rest of them doing. That's what the rest of them doing. Just sitting there quiet watching. Now, if I were y'all, I would just get off. I don't watch stuff on my phone that piss me off. If it make me mad, I just get off. I pay my phone bill, and I don't tend to watch stuff that get on my nerve. But the reason why we're watching is because of the fact that we know these things are not lies.
They say what you do in the dark will come to the light.
There you go.
They say a hit dog will holler.
And so you have all of these different people who are giving it. And the thing of it is, let me say something about Dwayne Johnson Sr. That man don't discriminate. He did it to his own family. So of course he would trespass others of us. Of course they're gonna try and make it seem like and come up with whatever salacious thing they can. And I love y'all, and I'm gonna tell you why, because y'all didn't let it roll like that. Y'all sent me that video. I didn't thank you properly the other night. Y'all tagged me. Y'all were on the thing defending. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My sisters came out. Thank you so much. My brother ain't gonna get but so involved in this, but like I said, I don't think it would be hard for me to get him to come and say that didn't happen. Because the blabbering bishop said it's going to get played out. They're going to get tired of hearing him. And this is why they're sitting quiet. They're waiting on this to just run its course. We can't allow it to run its course. Because for my mother was in that church 40 years. Okay? People have been being victimized. I like Auntie Jan. Auntie, someone said I like Auntie Janice. She seems like she's about that. She seems about that life. Yeah, Aunt Janice always been a little, a little rowdy. She don't. If you can't tell, it runs in the family, but she don't come to play.
Well, well, whoever made the comment, there, if you tell them that your auntie.
They can hear you. You live.
Okay, tell them I'm half holy and I'm half hood. I got some hood in me. God working on me, but
And
I'm
the
not
thing
like I used to
now,
be.
the other thing is, the one thing that the blabbering bishop said that was right. He said, and he was mad. Now, he wasn't there to know all of that other stuff. And I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I gotta go. I gotta come to Manning tomorrow. I'm going to the police department to pull the police report, and I'm gonna make it public so that y'all can see for yourself what the police said. Cause I don't know what the report said. I ain't read it yet. But I can tell you this: it'd be a little hard for that kind of commotion to be going on, and the police standing right there in the living room at the front door. Grandma's room was right off from the living room. Okay. And to Marissa Hilton's point, said I'm glad you and others are finally speaking out, and that more people are listening. The fact is, there are people who are not going to come out and speak publicly, but they're sending me their stories. And they're saying thank you because I knew it took guts for that to happen, for you to do that. Now I'm gonna tell y'all it wasn't as hard for me because I've been sick of these jokers. I've been sick of them. These people been on my nerve. They've been on my nerve since before I left there. But when I went live the other day, that last week on Saturday, I reached the boiling point. I was mad. Mad that my grandma's so wrapped up in this mess that she can't see the forest for the trees. That her fear for him speaks louder than her love for her family. And that's not okay. Mad for all of the other people who are dealing with the same situation but didn't know how to go about getting peace. The individual that you see on here, Shakaya or Shakia, I'm pronouncing it wrong and I'm sorry. I know your nickname, but I ain't gonna call you that. Lampkins is on here. She talked about how they sent her grandmother up there just 2 months or so before she died to live out her last days with them. At least they got the last days. Huh, huh. Okay, I see you. Yeah, I don't need, child. Let me tell you something, pastor or not, I don't need to drink. I'm terrible without it. Lord knows and this is why I know they won't come face to face with me. Because the fact of the matter is, I will humble you without, I won't even cuss to humble you. Okay? Because the fact of the matter is, the truth is, what Tyler Perry, what's the show? Have and Have Nots. That woman used to say about her daughter Candace, she'll lie when the truth will do just fine. Well, in this regard, the truth is awful by itself. Ain't no need in embellishing or adding. Notice, Whitney Elise ain't said one word since I asked, affiliated or not. You can't talk about beatings because they didn't happen to you. You said that you're not, you said that I said I'm giving. Sure, Kaya. Okay, cool. Or is it Kia? Is it Kaya with the long I or Kia like the car? So just say long I car so I know, just for me because I'm an intellectual. Now, I said affiliated or not, and I don't know if I'm tripping. I ain't seen not one thing from her since. Now, I'll say this to you, my dear. You're gonna have to choose a side here soon. Playing that gray area, that middle ground stuff, don't call my name. I ain't talked to you in years. I ain't talked to the preacher in years, Dwayne Johnson. I certainly ain't talked to Tyrone Brelsford in years, and they don't spare no expense with people's names. Inquiring minds about Johnson do a background check. Look, all right, because it's public information. Pastor, I saw you come. Ha, Miss Lowry. Ha, ha, yeah. They seen that a few more times. That's why I ain't going back to Lee Central this year. This year I had to show them. I had to show them. They tried to play with you because, yeah, pull his background. Go to Clarendon County Court System and put his name in. While you at it, put in Half Faith's name. I'll send you the screenshot if you want it. Okay. Because the fact of the matter is, and I'll say this, I don't mean no harm to people who know me in this life and who have never seen me like this. I mean no harm or disrespect. But I'm gonna ask you to please don't judge what you don't understand. Because I know a lot of people feel like don't embarrass the church and don't talk bad about people in the church and all of this rah rah. And I know a lot of people that I know a lot of people that I know are seeing these things who know me now, who know Pastor Devon J. Long. And you're frowning and shaking your head. And I'm sorry, I will not recant. I will not back down. And I most certainly will not apologize. Because until you've had your head through a metal chair, butt naked, getting beat, you can't understand it. And the other thing I would say is if it was your grandmother, your mama, your daughter, your auntie, your whoever, what would be your barrier? So don't judge me. Don't judge us if you don't understand. Disagree if you will. Cool. And ain't nobody said nothing, but I know the people that are around me. Disagree if you want to. But please don't take a judgmental disposition. Because this ain't about church. This is about what's right and what's wrong. This is about the fact that I ain't heard from my grandma in 10 days. This is about the fact that there are other people who got family members locked in there who are trying to figure out what's going on with my family. And all I did was crack the lid to a mess that should have been exposed a long time ago. And I'm sorry, I hate if it bothers anybody, but I feel not one bit of remorse. I don't feel bad at all. And if you ask me, I think it should have happened a whole lot sooner than it did.
Yep, it was too long. It's been going on too long. It had to come to it had to come to an end sooner or later in order for us to have peace. They just don't understand. Your sister is tied up into a court that you can't even talk to her. That's what the bad part is. I
She,
don't know what those people are doing to my sister. I cannot sleep at night. My husband said, "What's wrong?" I twist and turn all night, every day for it's been 10 days. I don't even know what them people done to my sister or what they're planning on doing. I don't know. That's my sister. That's the hurt, but that's my sister. She been in this mess too long. It's time is out. It's time for her to get out. That's why we're doing this. If you would have had a sister and worried about her, you would saying it's enough. That's how I feel. I'm just ready for my sister to be at peace so that our family could be at peace. She don't have to go through this. It is crazy. It's
uh,
ridiculous.
let me ask a question because I think I'm trying to make sure I ain't crazy. This comment. So our guest came back to make a statement. Says, I have nothing to prove to any of y'all. I asked you and Zay Santana not to mention me along with the things that are being said. I thought we already talked about that, but maybe we didn't. Also, Love Island is on, so I stepped away. Well, you should have been watching Love Island before you came. Uh, Sorry. Imagine you not speaking to someone for anything that hasn't happened to me. Sorry, excuse me. Imagine not speaking to anyone. Hold on a minute. I'm losing it because the chat is moving. Imagine not speaking to someone and never said boo in a decade or more to speak on your current life. Sweetie, first of all, no one's speaking. Oh, Jesus Christ. First of all, this is rich coming from you because this is what y'all do all the time. When Dwayne couldn't get me to sign my house over to him, he went back and told my mother and grandmother, I'm living in a broke down house with a bunch of broke down cars around the house. First of all, Negro, how in all of Hades do you know where my house is? Let's start there. The second thing is you doing a lot of good describing when I have to ask for permission to come, but I don't even got to go with that. Curse, die, ain't doing nothing good, ain't gonna be good. So please miss me with that pious crap. Again, nobody interested in talking about you. You making yourself a conversation. At this point, the conversation over. Go enjoy Love Island or whatever you watching. All right. And that my aunt just made the point. My aunt just made the point. The problem is we don't know what's going on. And and here's the other thing. Now, Dwayne Johnson Sr. moved his son, or not moved because the son never left his home. Well, yes, he did. Let me back up because there was a point where he didn't live with his father. But now that he is married with all of them children, all of them live in the house together. All of them live in the house together. You got your grandchildren living with you. But my grandmother got grandchildren and great grandchildren that don't even see her. Okay? So the whole thing is hypocritic. You got your family, your sisters right there co-signing on everything you got going on. He has his family, but you preaching every Sunday. Anyone know the exact address to the place where they are keeping people that they have POA of? Yes, the answer to that is yes. Almaretta, yes. Something wrong for real. Talk about the tea. They tried to give it to my aunt. Okay, let me put that on the thing so I can remember to come back to the tea. Yeah, he live in his daddy and his mama's house. Two reasons. One, to watch that girl, your cousin. Two, I think it's a little ridiculous that I got to get permission to come see my grandmother, but you wake up in the morning and you get to eat breakfast with your grandchildren. What is that? How do you justify that? The fact of the matter is, first of all, whether your son and his wife live in your house or not ain't my problem to solve. I don't even care. That's y'all's business. But don't be a hypocrite. The other thing is, you got that girl up in that house and not letting none of her family come see it, and it's a 7-bedroom house. Y'all don't got nothing but room to let them be a family. And that's my issue. All right, the tea. everyone, everyone keep talking about this tea. I I found out the other day they talked about the remedy too. I found out we were drinking alcoholic beverage and didn't know it, because when I seen something about fermentation, I didn't know they was putting bread in it to ferment it. I didn't know that we were drinking alcohol. But I can't say that the tea was anything more than some stuff they grew up, found, grown. I I never had any adverse effects to the tea. So I don't know, I know that there are some cults that they drink Kool-Aid and kill everybody. The tea wasn't that. I don't know of anybody that died. Yeah, all them houses are 7 bedrooms. That's their favorite number, 7. I don't know anything. I know they believe the tea had healing properties, and they believe that the tea was a gift from God. Other than that, I drunk it from the time I was there until they stopped making it, probably about 3 or 4 years before. What is W2 house? I don't know what W2 house. Oh, are you you saying W2 house? Are you speaking to the fact that the houses are used buying people's tax money? Or I don't know what W2 house means. But the tea is something they gave to people for healing, and we drunk it. They also used to have us drinking hot water in the morning. 6 o'clock prayer, get up for prayer at 6 o'clock, and then drink hot water. Sometimes people drunk it hot, like turn on hot water in the sink. Some people boiled it. So I don't know. Shoot, I've got 7 bedrooms for a bath, and my children ain't staying with me. Yeah, that's yeah, yeah. That's a funny conversation. But no, now I'll say this: he has another daughter, and then another young lady that was adopted that stayed in his house until she got married. They don't stay with him, but Dwayne Jr. and his wife is in that house. I can't help but wonder if it's to watch that girl, because at the end of the day, the other 2 girls that grew up in his house, married and living in their own houses. Now, granted, I mean, ain't like none of them all that far away from each other. Well, the other one lives over there off Bloomville Highway, so I don't know. But at the end of the day, I don't know, I don't know what to say about all of that. But something's wrong. So first of all, something wrong with them. Y'all done carried on with this mess for all these years that now we at a place where it's coming out. And I mean, I those of us who are familiar with Manor High School, you remember the educator that said, "I want it so quiet in here, I can hear a rat pissing on cotton." That's what's going on over there. Exactly. Anyone who has come out have no ability to show any kind of empathy, and that's because of the fact. And Rashima Dow, it's not just your cousin that's always surrounded by them. Same with my grandmother. Devon, what do you think they're doing to the people there for them to be so afraid to leave? Okay, that's a twofold thing. So let's talk about that. Um, Let me post that. First of all, first of all, Dwayne Johnson Sr. is very domineering. And Harriet Tubman said, that ain't French. I took French. Yeah, that's good English there, sir. Harriet Tubman said, I could have freed, someone said something about how many enslaved people she freed. And she said, I could have freed so many more if they knew they were enslaved, or if they knew they were bound. The fact of the matter is, if you can get someone's mind, you got them. So the first thing he does is he brainwashes. The world is a terrible place. This is your safe haven. Everything's going to work out for you here because you're in the will of God. If you had any support, you wouldn't have needed us. Me and my wife, we take care of everybody. We rescued everybody. So they start off with this superhero complex. Then the next thing, the next thing that you see after that is, oh, you ought to be so grateful when you didn't have nothing. My sister's on here. The story that the first lady said to her, when we found you, she points the middle finger, is what my sister can tell the story better than I can, because she's the one who I'm telling the story based on her. I don't want to be like the blabbering bishop and act like I was there for something I wasn't. She says, when we found you, my sister says, you were laying in your SHIT. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But what I do know is that the first lady was not there when we were taken from my mother's house in New York. So the idea is that you have this narrative of, we saved you, you owe us. And so that plays a factor. Then you have this familiarity piece. This is where I've been. This is all I've known. What is it for me if I leave here? And that's the part I want to speak to the most. Because let me tell y'all something. I've been gone from there 16 years and I ain't never looked back. Let me tell you something. If looking back ever came to my mind, I turned into Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, Helen Keller, and anybody else that's blind and whatever else they are. Because I knew going back there was not an option for me. I left there. I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to sit on TikTok and tell the story from beginning to end one day. But I left there with a trash bag full of clothes, and I left there with a rolling book bag with a bunch of books, because I always been geeky. I always like reading. And that was all I had. Right? And them clothes didn't even fit me good. They were too big. Now, that was in 2010. All right? First of all, I had a very odd perception of how the world works, because in that construct, everybody can look to him to be rescued from anything. And when you get out in this real world and get in trouble, ain't nobody coming to rescue you from a daggone thing. You either gonna sink or swim. And if you don't know how to swim, you better get you some of them floaty things to help hold you up. And you darn sure better learn, because otherwise you're gonna sink and you're gonna die. And I knew that if I went down, I was going to play into the very narrative that they wrote. So that's the other thing. If you leave, you're going to be cursed. Nothing good going to happen for you. All of them that's out, they struggling. Let me help y'all understand. I ain't living the life I want to live, but I thank God that I got a life I can testify about. I live in one house and I own another. I pastored 3 churches. One is I'm hired in, so I can't say much about that one. The other is a new plant, but the one that I pastored the longest, my grandmother started that ministry, paid it off. We don't that ministry is paid off. That building is paid off. The vehicles that belong to that ministry are paid off. Now, I'm working. My family's doing okay. I ain't got it like I want it, but I'm well on my way. I can tell you what I'm not. I'm not walking around with a black plastic bag full of clothes that are too big for me anymore. Okay? Now, life happens to everybody. You got about 108 people on this stream right now that can tell you every one of us have had our moments where we said, Lord, if you don't do it. And some people don't believe in God, and we'll work on that. But every one of us have had moments where life was doing what life does. And it's not cursed. It's time and chance. Book of Ecclesiastes. Oh, what is it? 9, chapter 9. To everything there's a season and a time, to every purpose under the heaven. Time and chance happens to everybody. You're going to have up days. You're going to have down days. You're going to have happy seasons. You're going to have sad seasons. You're going to have seasons where the money coming in. You're going to have seasons where you looking for the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow and can't find the rainbow nor the pot. Okay? It happens. It's life. It's happening right now, right there in Alcaloo. in New York and wherever else, but they don't want you to know it because they are, first of all, they live large off of whatever y'all giving them. Let's start there. And then they have this complex where, oh, the Johnsons are blessed because God has faith. You can live in the favor of God and still have to go through. If you don't believe it, go on and go to, I don't know, the book of Genesis. Let's start there. Chapter 37. Young man named Joseph, who the promise of God was on his life from birth. And he still had to go through the pit and the prison before he got to the palace. Let's go to Jesus Christ. Jesus was God made flesh. And the Bible says in the book of John, chapter 1, round about verse 12 or so, he came unto his own, and his own received him not. You don't get to go through life and not go through something. And there ain't a Johnson or a Jewel or nothing else that can absolve you from going through. As a matter of fact, let me go on and say it since I'm saying it. If you're able to finagle your way out of everything that you go through, if you don't have the testimony of having to have sat through something and didn't know how it was going to work out, then I'm concerned. Because if you don't pass the test, you don't get to tell the testimony. The reason that them folks are quiet right now is because of the fact that for the first time in their life, they're being tested in a way that money can't help them. So, if I were going through the lowest point, if I was to start going through tomorrow, okay, let's go better. I love the Bible. I love the Bible. Job, perfect, the Bible says. The Lord recommended Job. The Lord said, hast thou considered? The Lord said to the devil, hast thou considered my servant Job? The Lord testified. Well, you know what? I don't need to. Y'all better be glad my Bible ain't in this book. I just went to look for it so I could read it to you. God himself said to the devil, have you considered testing Job? God recommended Job for what he went through. You telling me Job was cursed? No. Life happens to everybody. And so if life is happening to you, buckle. And for y'all that ain't have faith, life about to happen to you for real if you don't figure it out. And life gonna happen either way it go. If life happening to you, buckle up, buttercup, that it happens. And it don't mean God don't love you. It don't mean that God don't want you to succeed. It doesn't mean, why do good things happen to bad people? You got to understand that we are in an imperfect world trying to get to a perfect God. You going to go through some stuff, and it's of the mercies of God that stuff won't swallow you up. Lord help me. I feel the presence of the Lord, and I'm not even trying to do that. God knows I ain't trying to do that. I love God, and y'all know I do. That's not, I'm just trying to be understanding. All right? So the fact of the matter is,
That mean in life, you're going to go through something in order to get something. Because if you don't go through something, you're not going to get nothing through life.
that's it. And if you can get yourself out of everything you
Yep.
got to go through, you don't give God an opportunity to be God. Lord, help me, help me, help me, please, Jesus.
Because
Lord,
through it
help me.
all, grace and
Lord, help
mercy
me.
is the one that's going to take you through everything. Faith, grace, and mercy going to take you through
Jesus.
every trial, every test, every testimony, everything that you go through. Like, you got to have in God in order to make it through.
Somebody better write that down. If you if you get out of everything you're going through, you're not giving God an opportunity to be
Mm-mm.
God. Lord, help me. I felt something right there that I'll save it for Sunday. All right. So we've been on 2 hours. Y'all know I told you I've been trying to cut these things back a little bit. I feel the presence of the Lord. Lord, you have to help me, Jesus. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, what do I have to say about all of this stuff that I've been through? At one time, I was struggle with extreme resentment. Thank you, sir. Lord, I feel your presence. At one time, I struggled with extreme resentment. Resentment over those who I grew up with that were friends that I don't talk to anymore. Resentment over the fact that I grew up with this mentality of, because they teach this, if you had the Holy Ghost like you say you do, you wouldn't be going through that. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I had the extreme resentment that they are over there doing all the things that they're doing and they're still blessed and they're still doing well. and they're still making it happen. And I said, Lord, here I am trying to do what's right. Here I am trying to do what I'm supposed to do. Lord, help me, Jesus. Help me. Y'all, I'm not trying to do this tonight.
'Cause the devil
And
know the word. The devil know the word. God had 12 as disciples, and one of them was a traitor, and that was Judas. So that's
one was a
telling you that.
traitor, one denied him, and the
Yep.
rest of them, the Bible said, all of them forsook
Yep.
him. So they all had their little issues.
Mm-hmm.
They all had their little issues. But the thing that keeps me going is the fact, two things. One, I know, Lord, I feel you and I thank you, Jesus. I knew that even in all of that, the reason I didn't lose my mind is because God was there then, just like he's here now. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Now, this is not that. I'll do this tomorrow night when I teach Bible study. Lord, I thank you, Jesus. But the other thing is, I knew I could not let God be defined by what people did. I knew that I could not let my perception, if I ever got to a place where I forgot who God was, I knew that I would never be okay. Because the only reason that and I'm saying this because of the fact that I know there are those that are there right now trying to figure out what you're gonna do and how you're gonna do and all of that. Let me say to you, you ain't gonna do. Except the Lord builds the house. Those who build labor in vain. Except the Lord keeps the city, the watchman watches, but he does so in vain. So God, when I was running across the field, thank you, sir. When I was running across the field, didn't know what 6 o'clock, this 1 o'clock in the night, December 23rd. Didn't know what was going to be my reality 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 hours later. God was with me when I was running across the field. And when I was juggling between trying to figure out how to get to New York or whether or not to go to Florida, God was with me. Thank you, sir. And when I made my way on over to Florence, I came to Florence to stay for 1 week. I was only going to be here 1 week and I was going. And it was only God. God spoke to my heart and told me stay and help my grandmother with the church or in ministry is what he said. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Jesus. And so if it was God that was with me in 2012 and God that was with me in 2002 and God that was with me in 1990, the same God that raised me up from being a sick baby in 1991 when the devil tried to kill me as an infant, the same God that when I was looking out the window at the hotel in Washington, D.C., saying, I wonder what had happened if I jumped, the same God that was with me when I was writing suicide letters, the same God that was with me all those times before is the one that's with me right now. That's why I ain't scared. I ain't backing down. I won't lie because I don't have a reason to lie. But I promise you, I believe and I live by. If it is the case that you know what you know, good, bad, or ugly, and you stand in that, then the same God that was with you when it was dark will be the one that'll turn the light on for you. I didn't do this to go viral. I didn't do this to get a platform. I didn't do this for any of those reasons. It wasn't for attention. Who wants to get attention out of telling the most horrific and private moments of their lives? This was none of that was in my mind. But I will say that since it is the case that this has turned eyes this way, or I'm going to tell the truth, but I'm also going to say, don't let this define God for you. It's churches everywhere doing stupid stuff right now. Don't let them people misrepresent God. You better remember the stuff. Jesus, I'm about to go. You better remember the stuff that you knew you got out of that. Come through here, my clubbing folk. They shot the club up and you didn't get killed. Thank you. Thank you,
That,
sir.
that's my testimony. That's my testimony.
You better remember the car
That's
accident that someone should have died in. Car looking like a balled up piece of paper. and yet you got out walking. Or maybe you didn't get out walking, but you're walking now. Or maybe you're not walking now, but you still have your life in your right mind. You better remember the stuff that you didn't even, there are things that God did for you that you didn't even know he was doing. So don't let these people and this awful stuff that they did define or describe God for you. And please don't let it define or describe all pastors. Because the fact of the matter is, I found out that when I left Alcaloo and got over here in Florence, Dwayne Johnson's come a dime a dozen. They may not be doing as much as he's doing, but you have these people who love having authority over people, who love exploiting people, who will drive Maseratis and Mercedes while they got members that are walking to church with holes in the bottom of their shoes. And that will brag about, and I'm not contesting nobody living within their means. There will be a day that I'm going to drive a Mercedes, but it won't be because I exploited God's people to get it.
It'll be on God time.
Fact of the matter is, I could have had one now. I don't care for Mercedes much. The one I bought wasn't a good one. Now, the fact is, people everywhere doing crazy stuff. But at the end of the day, you have a duty to get to know God for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And to plant yourself in some Bible-based church for the sake of edification, that's growing in the knowledge of God, growing as a person, and for the sake of inspiration through fellowship. I'm telling you, you get through the things that you're gonna go through, the things that you are gonna go through in life, you find, oh, y'all know I ain't lying. Let's do it. Let's do it. I got to go. You what is the unsaved people? What's the first thing that you do when you get to going through? You call somebody over and say, yeah, hey, you want to go out tonight? You want to light up? You want to have shots? So we already know that fellowship in its basic definition helps you get through. How much more so is that the case if you're talking about fellowship along with some healthy out, along with doing it under the guise of a relationship with God? Child, I went and had me a night at the club I'll never forget, made me forget what I was dealing with in life. I'm here to tell you, I done went to church so heavy. There are times I ain't even talking about as no member. I'm talking about as a pastor. Went to church, didn't even know what I was going to preach, was sitting in my office stressed out. And something about getting in the presence of the Lord, one, but getting around the people that love God, that ain't in there trying to show off hats and looking to see who wearing what and acting stupid and being crazy. Something about getting with the authentic people of God that know the authentic love of God that just makes me forget all of that. And so, I again, I don't apologize for anything because I feel like if I said it, then the Lord wanted it to be said. But you need to know them people are not God. And that cult is not church. All right? I'm gonna get off of here now. I'm gonna pray. And if you're not of the praying disposition, you feel free to dismiss yourself. Um, but someone requested prayer, and not tonight, but on the live a while ago, they requested prayer, and I thought that was my confirmation that I believe in praying anyway. But I thought, in the context of all that we talking about, I didn't want to make it seem like I was trying to push religion or push. But the fact of the matter is, I'll say this. I need us, Lord help me. I need us to get to a place where we understand that the secular society has no problem recruiting you for whatever it is they want you to be a part of, be it a fraternity, sorority. Let me go back. I didn't see it, but let me go back up and see if I can. Okay, let me see this. You had to go through the things you've been through because of the calling and anointing over your life. As prophets and leaders, we go through more than the average person, but our coming out helps another to come out. This shall be a year of restoration. Your enemies shall be swallowed up and scattered. Rest and watch the Lord. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, woman of God. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm going to pray because of the fact that we need more God. All of us need more God, and we definitely need God in the midst of all of this, because as much as we are exposing them, we also want to expose that there are people who are not like them. People who don't think. I see a few of my pastoral colleagues. I've seen Pastor Kizzy McDonald has been very vocal on here, and we've talked back and forth about things. There are those of us to whom are doing the very best that we can to be honorable with God's people, treat people with love. And I'm going to tell you, in regards to church hurt, it don't stop on the pew side of the pulpit. It also comes on the preacher side of the pulpit. So, in any case, let's pray and then we're going to go, uh, get off. Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, the first thing we want to do is thank you, thank you for the moment a minute ago where I know I personally could feel your presence, and I believe that there are others. I love the fact, God, that you are not a God that is restricted to time or space. That, as my pastor says, there is no distance that can deter God. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the witness of your presence, that even despite the opposition that we seen earlier, having to block people and acknowledge other things, Lord, you still allowed this to end in a way where we can still speak to the glorious aspect of who you are, and that is the fullness of the gospel, the good news of the Lord Jesus Christ. Father, I pray over each one who has been on, over those to whom are on, those who have been following this story from day one. Lord, I pray, God, that as much as we want the word out, I pray that the hearts and minds of these people are guided and protected by you. That this does not define you, but that my story becomes a pinnacle of faith, that even despite all of that, I still believe. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I still trust and I still hope. I pray that somebody, Lord Jesus, will decide that I want to know the God that this brother is speaking of. I even pray for those to whom are directly implicated in all of these dealings. I pray for their mind. I pray for their soul. I pray that you give us that have been affected a heart to forgive them. But I pray, Lord, that you give them a heart of repentance, that even if they never say anything to us, Lord Jesus, if they never come clean with us, Lord, that they would talk to you enough to realize the error of their ways. Father, I pray, God, that you will continue to cover myself, my family, those who are speaking out, and their families in the midst of this. We come against the onslaught of attack that the enemy would like to bring our way. We even pray, God, that you will cause, the Bible says of Jesus, that after he rebuked the devil, that the devil left him and angels came and ministered to him. Your word says that if you will resist the devil, he will flee from us. I thank you, Lord, that we can claim, as my pastor said, a devil-free season where the devil will have to back up off of us and angels will come and minister. And I thank you for it in Jesus' name. Amen. God bless you all.
Bye,
Have a
nephew. See you later. Bye
all
bye.
right, Auntie.
Love
Love
you.
you. Love you. Have a good night.
All right.
Everyone
Bye
have a good
bye.
night. Those to whom have been trying to get in touch with me, I'm gonna go check that other little folder and see if your messages are there and see how I can open up my inbox to other messages, and we'll be in touch. God bless you. Have a good night.